Hello and welcome. This is basically my second home improvement DIY with regards to putting a shutter on. Now, as you can see, I'll show you close up in a second, but as you can see, I put the shutters on, but there has been some complication that I thought I'd like to share with everybody. First of all, the window itself, this space all around, it's not perfect square. On the left hand side, it's much more wider top to bottom than the right hand side, which caused a bit of a problem. So I'll show you roughly what I did, and you'll see for yourself, and I'll show you little quick tricks of what I'm going to do later on to improve it much more. What you're seeing right now is not completely finished, by the way, because there's a lot more work to be done. I'm going to be showing you how to use magnets to keep it together, and you probably will notice at the bottom on the left hand side there's more bigger gap than to the right hand side. So yeah, this is the problem that we're going to have with a window that's not perfect size. I could have probably, it's quite impossible to do because the shutters that I received here are actually not made to measure. I've had to adapt a door shutter that I bought and use that to basically put it on the window. I've used the one for downstairs, one part of it, and the second part I'm using it for our bedroom. So it'll all match from the outside. So that is the plan, and I'll show you a close up now of how it looks. The first problem was I had to put a piece of wood on the left and right hand side so I can attach the shutter, as you can see on here, with the hinges. The problem was, as I said, the left hand side was slightly wider, plus it wasn't straight upright wise, so I literally had to use a plane to chop off the top end of it a bit more. There's the little plinth of wood that I've got there. The top is slightly narrower compared to the bottom. I had to do the same thing for the other side as well, and that wasn't enough because at the bottom I had to put a little cardboard just to stick out a bit more to fill up the gaps in the middle. So that was the problem that I first faced, so which I came across quite easily by fixing it with a piece of wood, making sure they're all straight upright. Second problem was the window itself, the shutter itself I should say. It's slightly bent on the top. You won't be able to notice it on here actually. You can probably just see it slightly bent on the top, but it wasn't that way, it was actually the other way, so that's probably more straight now. It was the other way, so it's going away from me on the top corner right there, so it's sort of bending that way a bit more. I think it's just the way I stored it, and that's what you shouldn't do, is store something wood or anything like that in an awkward angle where it could bend. But anyway, I overcame this by adjusting the both sides slightly to at the top end to face me a bit more, to finish off with a perfect finish on the top and the bottom. Another problem that I faced was the fact that if you look at the bottom end here, it's got a bigger gap. That's because the window, as I said, on this side is much more wider, top to bottom, and then also the shutter on the left hand side seems to drop literally, so I had to put a little angle thing on here, which you can probably just about notice it comes off like that. So there you go, it literally just goes on top of it, and that stops it. You have to be raised up and pushed in. Now you'll see the level on the side here is too high. It needs to be about this height. That is the perfect height for it. This side for some reason has dropped again slightly. You'll notice it's dropped slightly, which wasn't like this when I first did it, so I don't know what's going on there. I might have to raise it up on the hinges. Now this is the hinge. As you can see, if I unscrew that one, I might be able to raise the window slightly more to give it a better height on, so it matches the other side. So you wouldn't believe how many times I had to screw it on and up and down just to get it right. Not an expert, but I had to trial and error to get it right into the right place, so the both side meets up in the middle, flushed against each other, which is what I really wanted to do. So that's the piece of wood I put on there. I just literally screwed it on. The next plan is basically, I'll show you now. The problem that I have, as soon as it sort of comes off from the little piece there, it drops down and it moves by itself literally down, because the way that I had to angle it to match the top bit of the other side. So it literally just opens up like this. So I've got a plan for this, to how to stop it doing that. First of all, sometimes you may like to have the shutter half open, so you can close it like this and push it in like that, but you won't stay there, you just keep moving by itself. So the plan is to, I've got this strong magnet, I think their pull thing is 1.5 kg, small magnet that I'll screw on to the little bit here and on the against the thing here. So when it closes like this, it should just stay, the magnet should hold it there. So you can have the window, oops, let me show you again. You can have the window sort of slightly open like this. Just to show you, this is probably the better positioning. So sometimes you have the shutter open fully, as I've done so here, and you close this side off like this, which is like that, and it will stay open. So you have your window fully open like this when you want to have more lights in, and if you want to have half closed, you literally close this side. Now this one tend to stay open, I mean stay closed like this, and this one here, you'll notice it doesn't do that, it just comes off. That's because it's in an angle where the door just wants to open up, and I'll fix this with a magnet on this side, so it literally closes against it like this. And that's how you have your window closed, and you can use your shutter as you like. But the problem, as I said, it doesn't stay like this because I have to have this little plinth here, the ridge, just to keep it together. So I'm going to resolve this with these magnets. I think they are called, a very strong magnet. I got it from eBay. I'll give you the details of the magnets later. They're only 10mm by 2mm thick with a 3mm countersunk, so I can screw it onto. I'll drill a little hole, 10mm hole. I've got the drill pieces, you just need a drill. So this is where it all starts. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that it stays level. So the problem that I'm having here is one side seems to be higher than the other. So if I bring this down a bit more, maybe. What you're going to make sure is where you want to finish, you need to finish in a nice place. So for some reason this window's dropped since last time a few days ago. So it's slightly a couple of millimeters down. So I'm going to raise that up first, get the adjustment done. I'm going to put a marker. I'm going to put two magnets here, one on the top about there, one on the bottom here, and see how they operate first. Do they just stay close so you won't move? That is the plan. So I'll get that going first, fix the windows in the right size. That's the next thing to do. Right, so now that I've sort of worked out the distance that it needs to from the edge of the windowsill here, I raised it with the little ridge there, as I said. So it's all sort of in square shape, it's all flush against each other perfectly. So I'm going to use the magnets to keep it all together. So magnet that I have are the two kind, north and the south, so it doesn't matter which way it goes, as long as they're against each other on each of these places. I'm going to try with two first, because they're quite strong. I think they're 1.2 kg pull, so that's quite a lot of pull. So if I use two here, one at the top, one at the bottom, so I'm just trying to work out where's the best place to do it. The closest next to each other is about there. I'll probably do one there. So I'm just going to put a little mark on there. I need to a straight line. Yes, I've got the marker now. Then I'm going to use a drill piece. Now you could use a wood drill, or with a metal drill. This one I'm not so sure of, but the wood drill itself might be a bit better, so I'll try them both. So I'm going to take this out. I've got the marker there. I've got to make a hole there for the magnet to go into, but the door keeps opening, so I'm just going to jam it with a bit of cardboard just to keep it in place. So that should keep it there. I've got my drill ready. I've got to centerize where I need it to be. So if I just use something to my center. Okay. It's the hard bit. I'm going to make sure it doesn't go too far in, because it's only 2 millimeters I need to get into. So 2 millimeter, to show you on a magnet size. Which, these are the magnets. Probably can't see on there, can you? It's not that good. So they're very small magnet. This is just to hold it together. It's got little holes on them. Can't see clearly on here, but I'll show you them later anyway. So 2 millimeters is very little. So if I can, I need to avoid drilling too far in. So I made the hole. You can just about see. It looks like it's a bit more than 2 millimeters, so I really need to make sure. And this is screw, it's countersunk. The hard part is to get them off each other. Slide it off. Is that done? Put the screw through it. You'll notice it's perfectly flushed. Inside perfectly done. Luckily I had the right type of screw as well, which is quite good, always handy. Because the only time you do DIY, instead of spending a lot of money trying to buy the right thing, if you've got stuff already, you could always reuse. So now I'm going to screw it on. Could use the drill for this, to be honest, but if I do a hand, you can feel how it's going in. It's going a bit too much, but it's fine. You will now see. I'll just test it with the metal piece that I have here. It's got a slight bit of pull to it, but not maybe enough. Might have to put a lot more than just 2. That's what I was testing. So again, I'll put this away. I've got to do the same thing for this one here. Move everything out of the way. Now that they're flush against the side, looks good. This is the test time. So here you go, guys. Just wanted to show you how it all works now with the magnets. So first of all, I had to use all of my 5 magnets. Actually, I had 10 magnets. All of the 10 magnets on there, north and south, but I don't know which is what. So another problem was this side here sort of slants down because of the way the window is, and also this bit here on the window side here, it's not flat, so it's all sort of in an awkward shape. That's why the magnet comes in to hold it in place tight as possible. So I took the wedge out from there. I might put it back actually, it sort of helps it to keep it there. I probably will need another 4 or 5 magnets to literally hold it tighter. But as you can see, the way it works now is you can literally open it up, which is fine, bring it closer, and they sort of attract each other and it stays there. And if you want to tighten a bit more, you literally just push it in a bit more, and they're now in place. But here you go, this is how you use magnets to keep your shutters closed. I wish in hindsight I used a stronger magnet. I went for the cheaper option. I think they were £6 for 10, so £12 for, I've got 20 altogether. One of them broke, but I wish I went for the thicker size, the stronger 2.5 kilograms of holding power, I think it's called. So that would have been better. So now what I'm going to do, just to make sure, I'm just going to put the wedge back on again. just a double-sided glue with a little wedge, and you put it on here, push it in, and now it's in place. And it's flat, level. And next thing I'm going to do is, when I get a bit more time, when I can find, I'm going to put some bristles on the top to stop any light coming in, maybe at the bottom, maybe also on that side where the light's showing. As I said, the window is sort of slightly like this. So thank you very much for watching, and now you've seen how you can use magnets to do certain things, and magnets are quite useful. So good luck with your DIY.